His mother had picked up the weapon, an espada ancha, during her travels as a young woman down in the Southwest. During the years since their first meeting, Preacher and Tall Dog had become staunch friends and shared several adventures. They had worked together during the fur trapping season and amassed one of the best loads of pelts Preacher had taken in quite a while. Now they were in St. Louis. That load of pelts was sold and had been stored in a fur trader's warehouse, and Preacher had money in his pocket. He figured on spending some of it at Red Mike's. No trip to St. Louis was complete without a visit to the tavern not far from the riverfront. Preacher had been stopping in there for years, every time he was in town, for a few drinks, some chin-wagging with the burly Irishman who ran the place, and occasionally some companionship from one of the buxom wenches who served drinks. If Tall Dog was going to live the life of a mountain man, going to Red Mike's was a vital part of his education. The youngster seemed to be having second thoughts about it. He said, "Perhaps it might be better if I went back to the stable where we left our horses and gear." "Nah, don't you want to see Red Mike's for yourself, after hearing me talk about the place?" "Is it noisy and crowded and smells bad like the rest of this city?" "Well," Preacher grinned, "some might say that's a pretty fitting description." "You go ahead, Preacher," Tall Dog said. "I will await your return at the stable." Preacher wasn't going to argue with him, although, to be honest, he was a little disappointed. He'd wanted to see what sort of reaction Tall Dog would provoke from the other customers in the tavern. After all, it wasn't every day a fella laid eyes on a half-Viking, half-Crow warrior carrying around a conquistador sword. But the decision was Tall Dog's to make, so Preacher was about to say that he'd see him back at the stable, when Tall Dog suddenly stood up a little straighter and frowned. That made him tower over his surroundings even more than before. "Something wrong?" Preacher asked. "That woman. I have never seen anyone such as her before." Preacher looked where Tall Dog was looking, across the street, to where a young woman was hurrying along. She wore a gray dress and a dark blue cloak with the hood thrown back to reveal tumbling waves of auburn hair. From this distance and angle, Preacher couldn't see her eyes, but he was willing to bet that they were green and that she had a scattering of freckles across her face. He knew an Irish colleen when he saw one. "Do you know her?" Tall Dog asked. "You reckon I know everybody in St. Louis? I never saw her before, but I agree she's mighty easy on the eyes. Her hair, it's so bright, like the late afternoon, when the sun is low and the air begins to thicken with the approach of dusk. You know where she's going?" Tall Dog's gaze snapped around to Preacher. "Of course not. Do you?" "Not for sure, but I can tell she's an Irish lass, so she's probably on her way to Red Mike's." She might not be headed anywhere near the tavern, Preacher thought, but Tall Dog didn't know that. Perhaps I should go there after all. "Maybe you should, and even if that gal ain't there, some other good-looking wenches will be." Tall Dog shook his head. "None to compare with that one." He looked over the heads of the crowd in the busy street and went on with a note of alarm entering his voice. I don't see her anymore. Let's see if we can find her." Tall Dog didn't say anything else about skipping Red Mike's. He strode along beside Preacher with a determined expression on his face. The auburn-haired girl had disappeared into the throng of people. Preacher and Tall Dog didn't spot her again as they made their way toward Red Mike's. Preacher honestly believed that they might find her at the tavern, but if they didn't, that would be all right. Looking for her was just an excuse to get Tall Dog to come along without being stubborn about it. After leaving Dog outside with the command from Preacher to stay, they paused just inside the tavern's doorway. Tall Dog looked around, his keen eyes searching intently for the object of his interest. "I do not see her, Preacher. The place is pretty busy."